Cody Williams was one of three of the newest players drafted by the Utah Jazz. He's a player who shot fairly well for his college career. Actually shot lights out at the beginning of the season prior to his injury. He averaged about 14 2 points per game while shooting nearly 60% from the floor and around 45% from three beyond the arc. And this was all prior to the injury. After the injury, still pretty well, but his numbers started to dwindle a little bit and, they kind of teetered and kind of dropped. But he appears to be touted as an incredible pick for the Utah Jazz, as he tended to be projected around 5 to 8 on almost every draft board prior to the draft, and even was as high as 1 before his injury. I was just talking about those numbers. So we should be ecstatic, right? Well, we want to talk about that and if people may have been too high on him to begin with. Before we do that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below your thoughts on Cody Williams. We have a goal to try and respond to every comment on the video, so feel free to tell us why he was a great pickup or if you aren't as high on him as the consensus. Let's dive right on into it. So Doc D, compared with who was on the board, at 10, and if you were the GM, would it really have been ludicrous to have taken Connect, Carter, or Buzelis over Cody Williams, or even Nikola Topic? Would you have taken any of those guys, or you still taking Cody?
I'm not taking Topic. As much as I love Dalton Connect, I am not taking him either over Carter or Buzelis. And I would even take Carter, I think, over Buzelis because of his defensive mind, essentially. I probably still would have taken Williams, honestly, just because of the upside. I love Devin Carter. You know this. Everyone knows this. I've been touting how much I love Devin Carter since I found him. And I was like, this kid is something special defensively. I've heard comps as far as Drew Holiday to Josh Hart to Derek White. I agree with all of them. I think Devin Carter is going to be something really, really special. Also, his father played. So he is a second generation NBA player, which means he has somewhat of an idea on what to expect. It's not just being thrown into the fire the way normal rookies are. Like Bronny James. That's an advantage Bronny James has. He's a second generational player. His father did it. That means he has a blueprint for success, and now he just has to try to follow it. I think Devin Carter can be very similar. But I think Cody Williams is going to be really special. I think he can be. I can see why the Jazz went for him. Obviously, he physically has amazing stats. And even though he's not the most athletic player, he knows how to pick and choose his 3-point shots, which is important. You don't want a guy jacking up threes when they are just missing all the time. He shot very well from inside the field. What is he, 6'6", 7'1" wingspan? He could be something really special. I probably would have taken him too.
Okay, it was sounding like you might take Carter over him. Is that the case, or would you take Williams?
No, I would take Williams. I just never thought Williams was going to be available at 10. So, I always zeroed in on guys that I thought was going to be realistic. I can't even believe Cody Williams went to 10. It still is, mind-boggling to me. I just never even considered him because I was like, this guy's going 5 or 6 at the max. So yeah, I would have loved Carter, but Cody Williams was available, and that is insane.
So where does he fit with the Utah Jazz?
Well, it depends on what we're going to do with Lowry marketing. I like Lowry at the 3. I think that he can play 3 through 5. But at the 3, I think he is at his best, especially because there is a physical difference between him and the guys who are trying to guard him. Look, when you're 7 foot and everyone at that position is normally 6'6" to 6'8", you will have the height advantage. He's an incredible perimeter shooter as well. So I could see Cody Williams spending this year in the G League and then coming out to support Lowry as his backup.
Okay.
I don't know
And
if
as
he'll
of
ever.
right now,
Mhm.
just saying, as of right now, as this is being recorded, we don't know if Lowry has been traded or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
We heard that the
he's still
Warriors
on the
were
team.
trying to pick him up. I haven't heard anything since.
We're probably
We
gonna try and drop this
only a
video.
year 7, but we knew that was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Doc, let
I
me
don't
ask
see
you
anything.
something.
Yeah.
If Lowry gets traded, and like as this video is being uploaded, if he's traded to another team like the Warriors or Oklahoma City, does that mean that they were trying to pave the way for Cody Williams to be at that 3 position and have Taylor Hendricks there? Because it kind of seems like there might be a bit of a logjam right now.
Not necessarily. I don't think that they were trying, like, if they trade Lowry, it's because someone offered a package that was like Mikal Bridges. Like, you're getting a player you can flip for a first, and then you're getting a stupid amount of draft picks. I think the plan for Cody Williams right now, as long as Lowry Markkanen is on the roster, is to build around him. And I think that Williams is a great backup for him. But if Lowry was off the roster, then yeah, you would absolutely move him to the 3. It really depends on how well he does against Bryce Sensabaugh, because I would personally, I'd like to put Bryce at the 2, but Bryce can play 2 and 3. I don't know if he can play the 1, but they're going to be competing for that spot. Someone's coming off the bench. Someone's coming off the bench.
You could also always move Lowry to the 4. Have Cody at the 3, and that makes Hendricks, kind of in a pickle.
Exactly. And I really like Lowry at the 3. I think that that's where he's maximized, honestly. But yeah, you're right. You can move him to the 4, but then, you got Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks should be our power forward of the future. He can stretch the floor, he can shoot the 3, he's a good defender. Like, that kid that's our guy, man, at 4, at least in my opinion. What is he, like 6'9", like 230? He's giant. He's a giant, dude. Like,
well, Doc, I like him. It's very interesting when you keep bringing in, and I don't know if the Jazz ideally wanted to bring in 3 rookies this season. It just kind of fell like that, and it tended to be a pretty good draft. So now you kind of have a little bit of a logjam on all these positions. And with Cody Williams, with the question of, was it really the best fit for us? Was it the guy that, we really need for the team? And is he going to be the guy of the future? Is he really going to be like an amazing piece, a cornerstone, anything like that? I'm not sure. There's things about Cody, in my opinion, that might want to merit some concern. Like, for instance, I don't think he necessarily has the best wiggle. I know we've talked a little bit about that on a previous podcast. I don't think he's really going to be the guy with the ball. I don't think he's really going to be the guy with the ball in his hands. I mean, maybe he could be. Maybe that'll be developed further. But just watching him with the Colorado Buffaloes, I noticed that, he didn't really have that wiggle, that really nice handle on him. But he does have an explosive step. So he's still raw. But if everything lands on him, this guy could definitely be a star,
He has a lot of work to do, though. Like what you're saying, you're right, man. Like, he's probably going to spend his first year in the G League.
He needs to put on weight.
He can develop. Him and Bronny James are going to be seeing each other a lot because they're both going to be in the G League. He is, man. If they have Bronny James coming off the bench, like, I'll puke.
Doc, they will. They will. I mean, LeBron wants to play with his son. He doesn't want him to be in the G League, so he's going to be there.
Well, that sucks. Like, his son should have been better then. The fact is, Bronny James is the only reason he was drafted is because his last name is James and his dad is LeBron, and he still got drafted at 55th, which means he doesn't have any basketball acumen.
You don't think he would be drafted if his name was John Smith?
Nope. No way, dude.
I don't either.
He got drafted at 55 and his dad's LeBron. Can you imagine if Michael Jordan had a kid who was like a basketball prodigy, like there would be exposure, same thing, it'd be very comparable. And then if his kid went at 50, like for 55, we'd be like, okay, well, he's clearly not that good at basketball. Like, look, when you come from a prep school where you're just dominating, like, I don't blame him. Like, it's not his fault, essentially. But, like, Bronny James will never be anything in this league. Yeah. If he's lucky, he might be Lou Williams. If he's really, really lucky.
Thank you for watching